Thank you, Matt, because that's something I would have totally forgotten to do.
I got you. It'll be a great session.
All right. Well, it's so great to see some familiar faces and equally great to see some new faces. Very cool. Right. So I think we can go ahead and get started. Um, we are recording, so Matt, I think I'm good to go. You tell me.
Yeah. Yeah, there's an intro video if you want me to play it, or you can jump right into it.
You know what? I'm gonna just jump right into it. You guys are not here to learn about me, you're here to learn about yourself. So, why are we gathered here today? Because many of us have been in situations where we are just really wishing and dreaming and hoping for something in our life. And for one reason or another, we can't get it. And we eventually almost tone ourselves down because we feel like, you know what? If I don't dream, I can get disappointed. Well, that really sucks if you're a business owner because that means you're literally capping your business growth, you're capping your revenue, and you're cutting off all of those amazing people who you can be serving in your business. So, what are we going to do today? We're going to work on one shift. It's going to take one shift to get you from feeling capped or bumping against that ceiling or living in the revenue plateau to actually getting to where you want to be in 2026. And it's not going to take until December 2026 to do that. And I will explain why. I am super informal. This is going to be a workshop. I am not a kindergarten teacher. You're not here to take notes. You're here to build your next level identity. So if you have questions, just take yourself on mute. Fair? And I'm going to share my slides, mainly because I know people like to look at things and kind of be like, oh, okay, that's what she means, right? Hold, please. Your call is very important to us. Might be recorded for training purposes. Okay. All right, friends. We're good? We can see? Amazing. So, just a couple of words about who I am and what I do. I'm actually the money mindset coach, meaning I work with your itty shitty bitty committee in your brain to help untangle whatever old stories you have about what money is, what money does, or it doesn't, to actually allow you to generate the wealth that you were meant to have because abundance is your birthright. And if you didn't hear this before, I'm here to break this news to you. And if you've heard it before, I am here to remind you. I didn't just stumble into this topic. I actually studied human psychology for a hot minute. I do have a master's degree in that. And also, I worked for 25 years in corporate America. Why did I do that? Because it seemed like it was a great place to practice human psychology by helping those executive leaders kind of not just set their goals, but break and go beyond that. So, yes, there is actually a formula to success. And what we're going to do today is help you practice one element of that formula. I'm also an international best-selling author, but most importantly, I'm a foodie. So, if you love food, we're going to connect just fine. Okay. So, let me ask a question. And that tends to be like the question of the day. Why does this still feel hard, or at least harder than it should be? And when I ask that question, when I pose that question, I don't specifically mean like just money or just goals or just attracting new clients in your business. Sometimes it just feels that whatever you're wishing, dreaming, hoping for is just kind of out of reach. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Effort is not the issue. It's just not. And the reason I don't get like into the hype when people are like, let's grind, let's try a little harder. You can do this. Who is in your corner? I'm like, you're exhausting. Go, leave me. Because it is never about effort. It is not about motivation. It is not about the discipline, believe it or not. And also, I notice a lot that many times it's not that you don't know what to do. Like you have the information, you've been around for a minute, and you might even have a clear goal. So, what is it that is missing? Why can't you just like reach out and take your dream off the shelf? Something is not clicking. And again, I promise you, it's not that we're going to try a little harder, or you need to get a couple of people in your corner, or you need to like grind and crawl up the hill. It's about your capacity. Roar, roar. And you're like, what did you just say? Capacity? Yes, it is about your capacity to receive. Because everything that you want, whether it's physical, tangible things, or experiences, opportunities, freedom too, it is all energy. And in order for you to receive the energy, you must have the capacity to hold what it is that you're calling in. And so this one shift actually changes how you stand in your goals and how you show up the very next day. It's your identity. And you're like, you know what? This doesn't really sound like something brand new. And because it's not. Now, I will tell you that your identity is not the same as your personality. Because personality is something we're born with. Our identity is something that we take on, we assume, we choose. It is that infamous I am that we get to practice and live. Now, in the world of energy where I work, your identity decides, defines, sets apart your capacity to receive. So then you kind of understand, right? That what you're calling in, like those next level goals, are really or should be vibrational match to who you are becoming, not who you have been. And that is the disconnect where so many people get stuck with having what they have and not attracting and getting more what they want because they're trying to call in greater level of energy with a smaller capacity. If you could have gotten, achieved, or received things that you're dreaming about being who you are today, you would have. You absolutely would have. Your current results are the reflection of the identity you have been operating from. This is the challenge. A lot of people, not intentionally, but subconsciously, identify and kind of get comfortable with their present identity. We see this in business all the time. When people first launch their business, they're like in this identity of an aspiring entrepreneur, right? Like they're overgiver, or maybe they're the hustler and the grinder, or maybe they're the perfectionist. Well, guess what? That identity not only sets your behaviors, it all also defines your container for what you're able to call in. It literally tells the universe, here is the vector, here is where I want you to go. And by the way, this is the landing pad for you to deliver what I'm ordering, and this is how big it is. So, what happens when your identity shifts? Your energy shifts. And we are magnets. We magnetize what we want. And in business, everything immediately responds. Your revenue grows effortlessly. The right leads convert into amazing, happy paying clients. Those dream budget free vacations become your reality. And it just goes on and on and on. So I have these two pictures here, and you're like, why are you showcasing yourself? Because the girl at the top is the one who launched my business. I mean, I love her. She's like this adorable dreamer. She really wanted to make like this big difference in the world, and she would work with anybody with the pulse, and she would help anybody who was willing to listen to her. I love her. However, she wasn't the identity to run a multi-million dollar coaching company. The girl who came after her is grateful for what she's done, but also you can tell the shift in identity. You can tell that the girl in a black top has a very different vibration and a very different container for what she's able to receive. Now, remember I told you I'm a foodie. I use food all the time. Let me really, really ground you in the concept of identity in the context of ability to receive. I use this example all the time, and after a while, people will literally reach out to me and be like, hey, today I'm a coffee, but I kind of need to be a cappuccino. Can we talk? Yes, we can talk. What does this graphic mean? How many of you have ever had an espresso shot? You can just raise your hand. You don't have to do a virtual hand. Okay. Do you remember when they bring it out? It is in this teeny tiny espresso shot. Sometimes it doesn't even have a handle. It literally looks like a glass shot because it is such a small amount that you get. Now, it is powerful, it is bold, it is like a heart attack in a sip, but it only needs a very small capacity. Now imagine if you wanted an Americano. And better yet, imagine if I tried to pour your Americano into your espresso shot. What would happen? It would spill everywhere. It would be a hot mess express. Why? Because there wasn't enough capacity in that espresso shot to receive your Americano. Well, now we're going to get fancy because, we're in Pennsylvania and we have another snowstorm coming tomorrow. So I want a hot cappuccino with some foam on top. What do I need? I need to upgrade my capacity. So if I am progressing in terms of what I want, my container to receive the energy of those wants really must match my desires. So I get this question a lot. Hey, you're a mind coach and money manifestation coach. Can you explain to me why people who win the lottery many times end up losing all that money and some? Yes, because winning a lottery is a cappuccino. And many times they were a teeny tiny espresso shot. They didn't have the capacity to hold that amount of energy. They didn't have system in place. They didn't have people in their corner to help them invest and manage and shift and move. So it spills over. It is not that complicated. So that happens in business a lot. We start as a bold dreamer. We have those ideas and we have the passion, and we really think we're going to change the world by Friday, which is great. That's why so many entrepreneurs do actually follow through and they file their LLC and they start. And sometimes they start with like Google Docs and there is not even a website. And that's amazing. That is that espresso shot. However, in a couple of months or maybe even a couple of years, they're like, my God, why is my business pulled together by bubblegum and shoestring? Because they're trying to grow, they're trying to expand, they're trying to attract high caliber business, still being in that little espresso shot. So I think you get the point. And this is why the identity work is so important. And if you guys went to Nikki's session, She actually laid the foundation for that. If you didn't get to go to Nikki's session, watch the replay. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to address the how, because every flipping coach who does a free workshop will tell you the what. They will push the buttons and they will say, buy my program to get the how. Cannot stand that. So I'm going to give you the how. We're going to build your next level identity using the AI. Okay. Now, some of you might be more comfortable with AI, some of you might be just learning. So I've done a couple of things. First of all, this QR code on the screen. You can take your phone, you can open your camera, you can put the camera over the QR code, and you will see a little link pop up right on the screen of your phone. That link will take you to a Word document that has the exact prompt for you to take and put in whatever AI engine you use, whether it's Gemini or ChatGPT or whatever. ChatGPT tends to work best for this. If you're like Lena, I don't know how to read those codes. What I am going to do is I'm going to copy the link and I am going to drop it in the chat. And if you want to mouse over, if you and click on that, it again will open the same document. So what I would love for us to do together is open your ChatGPT or Gemini or Cloud, whatever you use. You want to upload your current picture. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't need to be the glamour shot. Any picture of current you. And then what you do is you will take that prompt from the Word document and you're going to put it right into your AI. Now, you want to modify it for you. Like, for example, it's going to say something like, the other hand is holding, because you can see that one hand is in the pocket and the other hand is holding, like in my case, it's holding a mug. But maybe you want to add something for your business. I don't know. Maybe you do horseback riding and you have like that little whip for the horse. That's going to be your next level identity. Or maybe you are a business owner deep in faith and your hand will be holding the Bible and you're showing people that you're bringing faith and business together, whatever it is. Now, mind you, this is not once and done. You can go back and you can modify that prompt and make it more you. Why are we doing this? This is not woo-woo, this is science. Our brain cannot tell a difference between imagination and reality. It can't. This is why you're crying when you're watching a movie and a puppy gets hurt. Nobody killed the dog. They actually have 7 extras on that set. But you cry because you tell your brain that you're watching a story, right? That's why we get freaked out on haunted hayrides, forgetting that those are college kids making $5 an hour on their full break. Okay? Our brain cannot tell a difference between imagination and reality. So when Dr. B was saying, who is in your corner? Who is cheering you on? Who is that coach? You are. Your next level identity, this visual representation of you, will become that energetic anchor that will show you who you are becoming. We're not lying. We're not fidgeting with the truth. We are making that next level you become more and more familiar. And your brain responds to what feels familiar, not what feels possible, right? And again, this is anatomy and physiology. Visual cues set the orientation. It shows you where you're going. And that orientation will change your behavior. Because when I look at this girl on a screen, yes, she's taken some different actions that I'm not taking yet. And also, she has stopped doing some things that are no longer serving that level of business. Okay. So when you see yourself there, your nervous system starts relaxing. That next level, that big dream, it is no longer ambiguous. It is real. It is a picture of you holding it in your hot little hands. And the more familiar something feels, the more relaxed your nervous system becomes. And it almost like drops that drawbridge and allows that future to be delivered much faster. Okay. So don't feel like you have to create this on a spot. I just wanted to give you a little recipe. This is truly the how of the identity work that I do with my clients. And they immediately feel the shift because it is no longer somebody that your coach told you you will become. This is you looking at yourself from the future. And it doesn't have to be a distant future. Actually, our mind doesn't understand distant, close, like it's all subjective. So I wanted to give you a little free gift, and that is the Revenue Plateau Breakthrough Guide. What this little self-guided guide will help you do is get a little bit more clear on the identity that you have embodied, that I am of today, and gently guide you to stretch just a little to that next level so you can expand your capacity to receive just a little more. And between this guide and that AI generated image, you're golden. You can't fail. So let me stop sharing. We have about 10 minutes or so for questions. And I would love to either answer the questions for you, get your ahas, or if something didn't land, please tell me. Like, I don't understand where you're going with that. We're here to help you kind of truly unpack it. Yeah, go ahead, Nikki.
Lena, I love this. I love your humor. I love the espresso coffee metaphor. That was really great for painting a picture for us. My question is, the picture that we're uploading in, I would do it in ChatGPT. Is it any kind of a picture? Should it be one where we remove the background of the original picture? Does that matter?
Doesn't matter. ChatGPT will, so the reason we're uploading the picture is because you want the output to be you. Like, I don't want it to be a glamour shot. And that's why when you read the prompt, you will see that it's actually very prescriptive. It says, do not alter the face, hair, skin tone, facial structure. Like, keep me 100% to who I am. So it basically will focus on your face more than anything else. So I wouldn't upload a picture where you're wearing sunglasses, but it also doesn't have to be anything like too polished. Also, I gave you the most kind of like encompassing prompt, but you can also, once it produces the first image, you can actually work with it and say, you know what? My brand colors are, could you reflect my brand colors? Maybe you don't want to give out the cell number. I think there is a prompt to put in the number because if you're promoting your business, I wanted to make sure that it will work it into the image. Maybe you only want to do the website. That's fair. So once you get the first output, you can then say, okay, now I want you to modify it this way. The gist of this exercise is to help you meet your future self and then have her, we mainly have women here, have her as the energetic anchor, as your GPS signal of where you headed. And the more you see her, so some people will put it as their phone screensaver. Some people will print it and like have it on their desk. The more you see her, the faster you become her.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. I'm excited to play.
Yep. I now have some people that I work with do it in their business. So I have a lot of financial advisors who I work with as my clients. They will now do it with their clients to say, well, what is like the next level of wealth you want us to build together? And so they will create this image, and the investment behaviors of their clients change once they see their future image present.
Yeah, it's powerful to be able to see yourself
Yeah.
and that energy.
Yeah. Well, and also it helps us recognize that, what the reason I don't have whatever it is that I'm calling in is because I am who I were last year or the year before. So that kind of it's almost like if you think about it, and this is to make it super basic, like if we're looking at somebody who's in high school and they're upset that they're not making the same amount of money as somebody who has been in business for, let's say, 10 years. Well, toots, you don't have that capacity to receive yet, right? Before you can get to that level, you have to assume the identity of somebody who's been in a workforce or owned a business, experienced things, and you become that next level identity. And then you can attract the money. Do we have any other questions or just ahas? It is a little unsettling if you've never uploaded your picture to AI. I know a lot of people like, what's it gonna do to me? If you curate a clean prompt, nothing. It will not. I mean, I know everybody saw the frenzy of candy canes over Christmas, and like everybody and their second cousin twice removed were posting on social media that AI generated image of them holding the candy cane. AI will do what you tell it to do, for sure. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Are any of you looking for a different type of a goal rather than growing your business? Because I want to make sure that if you are working on, let's say, health, or you're working on a relationship, that I can help you modify this prompt so it captures that identity and not necessarily, just business related. Or are we all kind of looking to expand and scale our business?
Business.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me, business.
Okay, then that will work. Mhm. So I will give you a free tip. Anytime when you create something as either a visual or like vision boards, right? Like we're at that time of the year where everybody and their mama are building vision boards. I have a mixed relationship with vision boards, mainly because a lot of people treat them as arts and crafts project. So women would get together and they would like cut out a bunch of beautiful pictures and they will glue them on a piece of paper and then put it in the like basement. So I'm not opposed to doing the collage, but what I find works the best, and again, this is science, is you really want to see yourself in your vision board. So if you want to get married and you are cutting out a picture of an engagement ring, I suggest you go to a local store. You actually try the engagement ring that you want and you take a picture with your phone of your hand with that ring on your finger. And that's what you put on the vision board. Because what you want to do is train your mind to believe that this is the reality. You already have it, it's just not in your physical proximity. So if you are like Nikki and I are coaches, and let's say we want to have more people join our events. Anytime when you are on a big event like today with Dr. B, take a picture where you have all those checkers across the screen, put that on a vision board. Your brain doesn't know whether it was Dr. B's event or Nikki's. And you can internalize it as I always have a full room. If you are looking for a budget-free vacation, it would be great for you to take a picture of your feet in the sand, not some remote destination. So that's how I find vision board work so much better for people when it actually has you as the anchor for your brain to be like, oh, gotcha, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, those are great tips. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
The document where mood and brand energy, do you recommend we keep those words that you have there, confident, polished, etc., or should we change them to what aligns with us?
Correct. Because you might already embody this
Mhm.
and you're like, you know what? It's kind of me. So what you want to do is stretch it a little bit so it does capture your next level identity.
Okay.
You don't want to recreate of who you are today just in a prettier suit. This is not a photo shoot. This is a brand identity exercise. So that's a great question, Nikki. You want to stretch it just a little where it's like the image that you get is like, okay, I have room for growth.
Good. I'm glad I asked. This is
Yeah,
timely. Yeah. Thank you.
absolutely. And I guess I will see you guys in the big room. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Lena. This was great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.